Tables and seats are now on sale for the biggest night in the digital video calendar, the TellyCast Digital Video Awards. We're celebrating excellence in the only award ceremony created especially for the social video industry, with over 100 channels, shows and series shortlisted across 27 categories. It all takes place on the evening of 5th of June during South by Southwest London Week at the luxurious Londoner Hotel in Leicester Square. The guest list reads like the who's who in the next generation of entertainment. So book your table, half table or seat now and join the talent and executives shaping the content industry of tomorrow. Just visit digitalvideoawards.co.uk to secure your place now. The TellyCast Digital Video Awards, the biggest night in the digital video calendar. We'll see you there. Hi, I'm Justin Crosby, and on this episode of TellyCast, I'm joined by Eline van der Velden, founder and CEO of Particle 6, an AI production company known for creating viral, social, and AI content. Eline's background is in physics, and it drives Particle 6's unique approach, which combines scientific creativity with advanced technology and AI, making content that resonates and reduces production costs by 60%. Eline's also become a leading figure in helping producers understand and apply AI in production, and she regularly speaks on panels, runs training, and is currently developing an AI-focused project with a UK broadcaster. Today, we're going to explore how AI is shaping content creation, what skills production teams need to stay relevant, and what's coming next. For industry videos featuring the movers and shakers of the content industry, search TellyCast TV on YouTube and hit subscribe. Eline, welcome to TellyCast.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
I'm glad we're not doing this with AI.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we might be. Who knows? Let's wait and see. But thank you for coming on TellyCast. Great to see you. AI is on everybody's lips at the moment, isn't it? It really is the sort of buzzword, and there's equal amounts of trepidation and excitement with AI in TV production. First of all, let's kick off by talking a little bit about Particle 6 and your background. Tell us how you developed the company, and I talked in our intro about your background in physics as well. So how does that all come together?
Yeah, so I actually went to a performing arts school before I studied physics. I went to Tring Park, which is where Lily James and Daisy Ridley went as well. I did musical theatre there. And then I did quite well in my A-levels, and my teachers really encouraged me to go to uni. And so I chose to do physics at Imperial, which was a fun 4 years. And I then decided that, after graduating, it wasn't really where my heart was. And I went back to acting. And I spent my 20s making a lot of TV in the Netherlands. And then I went over with WME to LA, and I was auditioning out there. And in the meantime, I created lots of YouTube shorts. We were on Daily Motion as well. And I sold a show to BBC Three when I was 27 called Miss Holland. So I had this mixture of creativity and science I've always wanted to bring together. And I've always tried to optimize content production. And then 2-3 years ago, when the AI started to become very user-friendly, that's immediately when we adopted it and applied it across our entire production workflow.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about that. And as I said, again, in the intro, there's a lot of excitement and nervousness, I think, within the TV industry about AI and how it's been adopted. And there's a lot of people have very, very different opinions of it. And it'd be interesting to hear yours, obviously, coming from, a talent side of things in front of the camera, but also behind the camera as well, when you're balancing costs versus, real talent and on-screen talent and that sort of emotional connectivity that you're looking with the audiences. So that must be a difficult balance to strike. How are you seeing AI being adopted right now, and how are you using it within Particle 6?
So 3 years ago, we started using it in pre-production and post-production. I used to say to everyone, it's just like a rubbish intern that's not that great. But it was already showing a lot of potential. And so we were applying it. I would say now it is incredible already. Every week it is better. Every week there's, 2-3 updates that make it even better. And I'm a creative at heart. I love the creative process. And so I want to encourage people to not be scared of it. Don't see it as a problem, see it as an opportunity, because I built the whole production company just so I could make my creative ideas come to life. And this is amazing because I don't need to build a whole production company to make my ideas come to life. I can do it, well, by myself or with a small team. And it democratizes creativity in a way so that we can hear from voices that we wouldn't normally hear about. And also, it's a great tool to reduce the cost. And I think we're in a period right now where budgets are constrained, and it's a very good opportunity to start using AI.
Yeah, and like you say, it's a democratizer, and it does enable one person or a very small team to actually deliver the sort of content that we've seen in the past for teams of 10 or even more.
Oh, yeah.
And that really is, as you say, as budgets have fallen away and more content is going digital first, and the huge opportunities for you to take content direct to audiences, then it's only natural that it's becoming more and more a crucial part of the workflow.
Yes. And so the creative part is the one I don't want to dismiss. I think people are scared of it because they haven't used it. They think it's just one button and it removes all creativity. No, it requires you to work with it and make things better. You can create a lot of rubbish using AI, and that's where the skill and the experience comes in. You have to really work with it and create what you and your vision is.
So, for example, a really skilled camera person or a really skilled editor, there are certain terminology that they use that somebody without that skill wouldn't know. So, for example, what a lens, a certain type of lens looks like, or a certain type of film, or a certain type of grading, for example. If they are let loose in some various AI tools, then that's going to deliver that cinematic quality that they know that they want to deliver in a fraction of the time, right? And without having to step outside the studio.
Yeah, and so you still need that knowledge and that experience of the, picture composition, the angles, the lenses, whatever it is, or how you even tell a story for an editor. So all those skills still come in, and they still make part of the final product, the final creativity of it. It's all still there. Don't worry.
Yeah. So tell us about your projects that you've created with AI then. So let's just assume that everything you're doing post and pre-production is using AI, and that's lots of people are also starting to pick that up and within the TV industry. But what about AI generated content and the creativity that you're seeing on screen? Tell us about what you've been doing in that space.
Yeah, so we've started producing loads of short form content just because it's easier at the moment, but we're already in works for longer form, in scripted and unscripted, in factual, entertainment and other genres. We've got a little donut clip we can show you. That's fully created in AI. We've got some travel clips fully created in AI and some scripted scenes fully created in AI. So that's really where we're playing around at the moment. But then we're also, in our current commissions, we use it to optimize our pre-production, our post-production. And then we use it, we're working towards, making fully half-hour shows.
Right. Okay.
With AI.
Okay. So you said there's a donut clip. Tell us a bit of background on that.
So this took, quite a long time to put together. It's not like we just press the button and say, make a donut advert. There's storyboarding. There is, what are we trying to represent? What's the message we don't want to put across? And then you got to play around with something like Sora, which is what we create this in. And I would say you get one good clip for every 9 clips that you generate, or that at least work in the edit flow that you want to get to. You also have to have this reverse engineering method to your directing. So you got to think, okay, this is what I've been able to generate. How do I engineer this into a final edit? As opposed to this is the vision I want to create.
So that's interesting. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to storyboard, you say you storyboard a whole clip, but actually what you produce takes you on a different journey.
You might, yes, because it comes up with all sorts of weird things. So right now, that is the method that we're applying in order to get something coherent towards the end. Yeah. And you might, need to go, oh, well, it's created a donut falling from the sky. Actually, that's great. Let's go with the donut falling from the sky, or let's go with this scene. It's a bit more, you have to be flexible.
Yeah.
That might not always be the case. I think the journey we're on is going to be so fast. And the iteration of the AI tools is going to change so much that it will be completely different by the end of the year. But that's where we're at right now.
Okay. All right. Can you give us an idea of, what the amount of time that would usually use to produce without AI, and how long it actually took you using the tools that you used?
Yeah, so I think the direct comparison, you can do that, and some people online are doing that. Like, oh, this was a £1 million advert, and we made it for 10K or whatever, or less. I would say because all these tools are still experimental, I wouldn't make it a direct comparison because you're still working with it, you're learning as you're doing it. This took us 3 weeks probably, start to finish, and if you were to make it in CGI, it would cost a lot more than it did to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So how about, let's keep on talking about AI and creativity. How do you avoid, starting to lean into AI and letting that take over when it comes to, the over automation leading the way rather than actually your own creativity? How do you balance that? Want to get ahead in digital-first content? The Drop is the go-to newsletter for industry professionals, delivering insider news, trends, and insights straight to your inbox. Navigate the fast-changing landscape of digital-first production, distribution, and monetization. Sign up now for free at dropmedia.co.uk and stay informed with The Drop.
Yeah, so I'm a creative, so I'm not worried about that because I still think the creatives want to put their vision out there, and that's all it's aiding us, right? Yes, there will be automated things. Probably in about 5 years' time, I think you can press a button and generate a half-hour sitcom. Will it be good? I'm not sure. I can't guarantee that it will. I think, why do people make film and television? It's because people have this desire to tell a story and a desire to create something. The AI doesn't have that desire in the same way. And so I think that's why we create it and why we watch it, is because of a human need to tell stories. So I'm not worried about that bit.
Yeah. It's interesting you talked about scripted as well earlier on, because scripted, when it comes to digital first, is, it's a very difficult model to crack, really. Channel 4 have just commissioned their first scripted show for digital first, but, the costs involved and the benefits that they're going to derive from that for advertising is very difficult for anybody else to replicate, I think. But when it comes to AI, that seems to be a real opportunity when it comes to scripted and creating characters, creating avatars. We've seen, lots of different systems creating amazing avatars, and those are. I mean, I just saw one at the weekend, which is I can't even remember the company's name. There's so many of them now, but it's incredibly lifelike. So really, that's going to be the casting, situation is going to be, these avatars created, which we've seen a lot of that happening in South Korea at the moment, and avatars having their own careers as well, music careers as well. Do you think that is the opportunity when it comes to scripted digital first? Do you think that's the way that you're, generally the path that you're going down?
I think scripted is the most exciting. I mean, I think all of this AI stuff is the most exciting time in history to be alive for film and TV. I think scripted is the best place because it's where we can make the biggest difference. So the budgets are in a really difficult spot. I think we'll actually create jobs by having AI lower the cost of production in scripted, and thus putting a lot more projects into being greenlit, creating more jobs as a result of that. In scripted, you can already outsource a lot of it. You could create a scene in this room and we could make it look like it's a period drama. There's so much you can do that will make it look amazing using AI. And I know that, Runway released a couple of clips last week of a drama, which looks incredible. The point is, everything that we produce, you shouldn't know that we made it using AI when it's scripted. And I think that's the same for the AI characters that will be coming out. You shouldn't know that they're AI. And that is the only way that humans will accept it.
Yeah. And we're talking about the different models that are being used at the moment. So, the Sora, I mean, there's so many. You tell me the tools that you're using when it comes to scripted in particular. What are the best tools that you're finding that work for scripted?
So yeah, we plug and play in different ways with different production companies. So it's either directly for a commissioner or for a production company or for ourselves.
And when you say a production company, so when a production company brings you in as a consultant, essentially,
we have different ways of working with production companies, because either they can work with us like a co-pro and we work with them together, not a consultancy in the same way. We really work on the full production timeline with them, or they outsource just a small bit to us that they want to reduce the cost on or anything like that. Yeah. And then in the process of working together with us, they will learn everything there is about it. But the tools that we recommend, I mean, they're different every week. It's an absolute minefield.
Every update.
Oh my!
Across Sora or Google's tools that they jump they leap ahead, don't they?
Yeah.
So Eline, give us your top 5 AI tools for TV producers. Let's start at number 5.
DeepSeek for production managers. Anything with numbers.
Okay. How about number 4?
ChatGPT for creative producers. It's great with language. It's great creatively.
And number 3?
Sora, image and video generation.
Okay. Number 2?
Kling. It's great at consistency in characters. But number 1 isn't really number 1.
Okay. All right.
Number 1 is any voiceovers, so ElevenLabs.
Okay. Right. Okay. It gets expensive, all the subscriptions as well that you have to pay.
It does and it doesn't compared to I think the problem is when you've got a full workforce and then you've got the subscriptions on top. But we have a small workforce and then the subscriptions on top.
Yeah.
It's not that
It's not too much. Okay. So a lot of TV producers, I think, when it comes to the digital first space, I sense a lot of the traditional producers are becoming, they're a little bit reticent to let go of the traditional models. They're waiting for the traditional commissions to come from Channel 4 and BBC and ITV and Channel 5 and everybody. To me, that's a little bit like waiting for a bus that might not come. And I think AI is also a similar approach that, a lot of producers may be a little bit skeptical and not interested in, even engaging with it. What would you say to traditional TV producers who are feel overwhelmed at the moment with it? Because I think a lot of them do.
I get that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, would you advise them to engage with AI tools really in AI content production?
Yeah, so take baby steps. I mean, start just organizing your weekend using ChatGPT or DeepSeek, just do the basics, organize your evening, get it to book your restaurant, whatever you want. And I think the traditional model still stands. I think it's a very good model. And I think it just, and I think commissioners out there are realizing that we can do it for the budgets that they have available. So they're coming to us and saying, can you do it for this tariff? And I'm like, yeah, that's a great tariff. We can definitely produce it for that. And that's just the difference right now is you need to be able to make it work for the budgets that they've got. And if you have the right tools in place, it's not that hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
So the traditional model is still a very good model. You just have to adapt to where the budgets are at.
Yeah. And you use more and more AI tools to help speed the process up if it's a lower tariff, right?
Yeah, optimize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know there's a couple of projects that you've recently working on with Hearst or have delivered with Hearst Networks. Tell us a bit about those and how you used AI in the production of those.
Yeah. So we have built a format creator. So it actually is more accurate than a human because it will cross-reference and check with every existing format out there to make sure it's not copying anything. We then feed it information about the shows that we want to be creating, and then it will come up together with us and we'll do a brainstorm together. So that machine is working in pre-production and development. Then when we get to casting, location scouting, everything can be done using our different custom GPTs that we've made. Then you've got the shoot, which we still do in a semi-traditional sense. We've optimized that to a certain extent as well. And then we've got the post-production in which we use lots of AI tools. Again, I would say there's no more need in scripted or unscripted to ever do a reshoot because you can do that all with AI now. There's just so much you can do that people don't know about.
Yeah.
I think that's the main problem with AI is the adoption rate's quite slow.
Right. Okay. Well, just coming back to a phrase that you use, custom GPTs.
Yeah.
So expand on that, because a lot of people are aware of ChatGPT, and there's lots of different models up to 4.0, I think it is now. And they've just literally, I think in the last week, they've launched their new image generator as well, which is amazing. It seems to be, more and more, you get more and more value from being a subscriber. There's lots and lots of tools starting to come on board with it as you're going along. But custom GPTs, is this just about it learning more about you and your prompting, or is this... Explain custom GPTs.
So actually, if you have a GPT account, it will learn about you as you go. So it will soak up all your information. You can toggle off something where it uses your information that you put in to learn further and, feed back to the whole system. We've toggled that off. So everything is contained on our side and nothing is being used to train. You then can create a custom GPT, which is, you'll see it on the thing. You can go to My GPTs and then create a custom GPT, and you're creating a custom program that can do something for you. And then you could even sell that on the GPT store if you wanted to.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen there's a few people on LinkedIn, particularly at the moment, I think you can actually see it as well, but write your LinkedIn post, your daily LinkedIn post, right? And you can get a GPT to do that, can't you? And which sort of feels cheating a little bit.
But what I could do, for example, to practice for today is I could put your podcast in there and I could say, can you please interview me as if Justin is interviewing me to practice?
Right.
And then it would create a podcast custom GPT that's Justin.
Yeah. That's freaky. But there's so many ways that you can apply that. I mean, it's like, in daily life, like rehearsing for roles or rehearsing for interviews or rehearsing for whatever it is.
You could do, this is the thing. And this is what I always say to everyone is like, every task you get in life from today, think about, and instead of Googling or whatever, just try and put it into a LLM, whether it's DeepSeek or Perplexity or whichever one you prefer, and see if it can do the task for you. That's where your number one starting point should always be. Yeah.
Okay. So as I mentioned again in the intro about a project that you're working on with a UK broadcaster, I know you can't talk about too much about that, but can you give us a little bit of information about the project? Don't mention the broadcaster, but give us a couple of hints about what it is you're developing.
Unfortunately, I can't talk about it, but it's in the factor entertainment space. And I think there'll be quite a bit of programming about AI in the next year. But then I think that will be just a blip in time where we're talking about, programming about AI or, having AI very present in the show will be very temporary. I think after that, we'll just go back to normal programming and AI will be ever present in every program. We just won't know about it. And that's the way it should be, in my opinion.
And how about commissioners? How are they working with AI now? Because there must be a huge temptation for producers just to bang a load of stuff into ChatGPT and hone the pitch for a different broadcaster, based upon a central idea and tweak it. I mean, are they becoming quite savvy as well now when it comes to AI, do you think?
Yeah, I think they're savvy as in they know it's around, they know it can optimize something, they know it can elevate the project for the budget that they've got available. And so they are demanding that, rightly so. And I'm here for it. And I love the fact they are knocking on our door and saying, can you do this for the tariff we have available? And absolutely, it's possible and it's going to look amazing. And that is, I love that commissioners are open to it and they are seeing the potential.
Yeah. What excites you most about AI in the whole storytelling space right now? So
I think in the 1920s, there was a big tech change, right? That's when we started making films. And Universal, Disney, and Warner were born. And I think we're in that exact same era now where there'll be a new group of creative powerhouses that will arise from this time. And I hope to be one of them. And that's what I think is so exciting about it.
Yeah. That is incredibly liberating, isn't it? The thought of anybody, that level playing field and being able to capture their own creativity, but and harness the super powerful tools that everybody's got access to now, could become a huge media enterprise based upon, harnessing those skills together and taking it direct to consumers and being able to launch this without the need for any gatekeepers.
Yeah, well, launching the distribution part's interesting as well. That's a whole other conversation. But I do think you can create a, £50 million film soon in your bedroom. That has never happened before. There was such gatekeepers, as you say, to enter the movie industry, and that will change. It will be more merit-based, in my opinion. And we are hiring from all walks of life, people who are playing around with these tools, who are seeing the opportunity, who've got the right mindset, because that's really what it's all about now. It's not about being old or young. It's about being open to experiment and not stuck in your ways.
Yeah. And, I think that, in a year or two's time, I mean, the traditional TV production company model, it's not going to be there anymore, is it? I mean, it's not going to be, is it going to be still fit for purpose? I think
the funding model?
No, I mean, if you look at a traditional TV production company now and the roles that...
No. My company runs completely different. It runs like a tech company.
Yeah.
We're fully remote. We spend one day a week in London together for whoever is in London. It's a completely different setup. We run it completely differently. And I think in a year's time, it's going to be even more different. And you will have, especially scripted. So scripted will be fully AI with these characters. And it can be famous people, and they'll have a digital twin, but they'll still get paid, right? So they could be making 5 films at the same time. So it's a huge opportunity for them because they'll be earning, unlimited amount of money doing multiple projects at the same time with their image. I think theatre will thrive. I think everyone will flock to the theatre to see these actors in real life.
That's interesting.
And a film or a TV series will be a bit like, we all love Frozen. That's animated. We still love it. We still go and see Frozen in the theatre.
So actually, it could give a massive boost to live performance. And yeah, as you were talking, it reminded me of a post I saw on LinkedIn this morning about somebody in the advertising industry. And in the same way that you're talking about a global media powerhouse being able to be delivered by somebody like yourself from a small company starting point, the traditional advertising agency model where you see hundreds of people in these massive advertising agencies, that's going to blow up completely. I mean, that can't be sustainable for the next, year, 18 months. I mean, there's going to be huge layoffs and huge changes. And, again, advertising agencies born in bedrooms, born from people working from home, being able to create multiple adverts for multiple markets using, as you say, maybe they license the Tom Hardy to do various different whiskey adverts for different countries, simultaneously. This sort of thing is really exciting. And maybe the artists want to focus more on live, and maybe they feel that is something more rewarding for them. And they can perhaps do that.
Well, they can do it all.
Yeah.
That's the difference. They can be doing the theatre production as well as being a few films.
Yeah.
And it's not one or the other. And it shouldn't be, yes, we need to all adopt this new technology, but we all need to, right? It's a level playing field. There's nobody who doesn't need to use AI in the next 5 years across the board.
Yeah.
That's what I think, it's survival of the fittest and who fits to the new methods.
Yeah. And it is survival, isn't it? I mean, this is a survival game we're in. Yeah. Yeah. So if we were chatting in a year's time,
yeah,
what would success look like 12 months from now for you and Particle 6?
So I think we would be creating some of our own AI productions, short films. That would be exciting. I think we'd be working with really great forward-looking production companies that need help producing specific parts of their program or to work together on programs to optimize it, and working directly with commissioners, producing shows for them using, semi-AI with pre and post-production or fully AI as well.
Okay. And you talked earlier on about distribution, which was interesting. So how do you see the distribution space for content changing in the next year as a result of AI?
I sometimes look at, because I came from the YouTube background and I was a YouTuber in my 20s, and I look at what the only reference I can go off is my own behavior. And I still use streamers. I still watch the BBC. I still watch Channel 4. So I don't think they are going to lose their position as a distributor of content.
Can I ask you why, though? Why you use those streaming services? What is it that's driving you to use them? Is it quality?
It's quality, and for me, it's mostly scripted. And I think scripted isn't necessarily on digital, which you mentioned earlier as well. It's hard to produce. I mean, I know companies like Real Short are doing, short form episodic content, but I still think they'll have their position. I don't think they're going anywhere.
Yeah. And well, I'm seeing. Are you familiar with a company called Darman Studios? Do you know about Darman? Mm-hmm. Darman are a hugely popular short form scripted company in America, and we had Martin Trickey from Zoo 55 on the show on our last episode, and that's short form scripted is really taking off in China and various other territories that he's keeping an eye on as well.
Yeah.
So again, that's maybe something to watch.
So we are playing in that space, and we've done some short form dramas. I still like lean back content. That's just my personal preference. But I do think that's a very interesting space, and I think people want, what I get frustrated with a White Lotus, for example, is I have to wait for every Monday evening. I don't want to. I want something every day. And I think that's what those dramas provide is, you can watch a 1 minute clip every day, if not more. So yes, there's space for everyone to play in this, and that's the exciting bit.
And now it's time for Story of the Week, where my guests get to highlight the recent content industry news story that's caught their eye. Eline, what's your story of the week?
I love the H&M story where they're using the digital twins as their models.
Okay.
So obviously they have so many stores worldwide and advertising campaigns, and they have done it in a really ethical way, which I like. They've used the existing models and they've made a digital twin of them. They still pay them. They can recreate the shoots for all the different clothes and stuff as they go, which is excellent. And the model said, great, I don't have to have jet lag. I don't have to keep traveling to the different regions for the different photo shoots around the world. Excellent. And I think that's how we should approach it. It's a win-win if we get it right.
So the talent gets paid and the brand, in this case, probably saves on production.
Yes.
And who or what is your hero of the week, Eline?
So tonight, well, I don't know when this is coming out, but the finale of The White Lotus is happening. So my hero is Mike White, because I really enjoyed what he's done in the past 3 seasons of The White Lotus. And I love what him and Dave Bernard have been doing in creating this show and how it's all come together every time. I think it's amazing. All right.
And that's the third season, is it?
It's the third season.
Is it the final season, or are they doing any more?
No, they're already talking about the fourth and where it's going to be. It's not going to be near water, apparently.
Okay.
Oh, it's so good.
All right. And who or what are you telling to get in the bin, Eline?
Trolls, online trolls. So when I was a YouTuber in my 20s, you end up doing bigger and bigger and bigger collabs. And I got, a huge collab that I did. And it got millions and millions and millions of views. And I got so many death threats. And that is a big moment in my life where I just went, do you know what? This whole like being in front of the camera thing, not for me.
Death threats.
Death threats. So bad. And I worry and I worry now because I'm doing a cycling campaign for our village. And I'm getting the same sort of trolls. Like people think I've got all sorts of negative agendas, which I don't. I'm just trying to make the village safe. But I think people should be less negative online. That's my main thing, because also we might discourage people, or we might, there's no need.
I mean, absolutely. There's a huge argument that's happening right now as well, isn't there? Lots of people are starting to be arrested and in prison for things that they're sharing online, which is, a massive change from where we were sort of a couple of years ago. And people are talking about, freedom of speech is also something that's in the air that lots of people are talking about, on the back of Trump and all the changes that are happening there. I mean, it seems like it's a really feels quite febrile time, doesn't it? When people are talking about and sharing their feelings online and becoming more and more
I
sort
worry
of aggressive.
That it discourages people from going into politics because they're worried about what might happen online.
Yeah.
I think people will start using AI influencers instead of themselves because they don't want to be, attacked.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to change a lot. And we should all just be a little bit more of a kind human race to each other.
Absolutely. More kindness. Quite right. Eline, thank you so much for coming on TellyCast. We really enjoyed you having on the show. Good luck with everything at Particle 6. It's a really exciting time for you. So can't wait to see how the next year pans out for you. All the best. Thank you for coming on TellyCast. Well, that's about it for this week's show. For industry videos featuring the movers and shakers of the content industry, search TellyCast TV on YouTube and hit subscribe. We'll be back with another show next week. Until then, stay safe.